Pardon my sarcasm. We are on episode 14. That's 14 weeks in a hole. I like it. I am Fuze B.
I'm Ashley D.
We are the PMS too. How's your mental health going today?
I always forget you're going to ask me that.
It's not a trick question.
I know it's not. I'm doing really well today. My mental health is good. I'm up. I'm positive. Yes, I'm excited.
That's the answer that we like.
I know.
I like that. I'm doing great myself. Had a crazy week. I lost a friend. Good friend of mine.
I'm really sorry.
Yeah, she was an old co-worker. She was cool. Rest in peace, Kayla. She used to buy me stuff for my birthday. Brought me socks and stuff. It's sad, but, she was in pain. So
right.
She's in a better place now, and I hate when people say that for real, but
right.
in this particular case, I think that with her being in so much pain and holding on to it, she's definitely in a better place. So rest in peace to her. Not to be sad, anything exciting happened. The Olympics are going on.
Nice. I've been watching some.
I had that girl from Jersey, McLaughlin.
Oh.
She's a beast.
Oh, my God. Right? Oh, that just gave me goosebumps. She gives me goosebumps.
Jersey.
She gives me goosebumps for real.
Nice. There was a versus yesterday. I know you were all into that. Between the Locks and Dipset.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, I thought that. Anyway, the Locks crushed them across the floor. It was, if you listen to it, I've been, if you see on my Facebook, periodically I randomly will put, ain't none of y'all better than Locks. It's a quote.
Correct, I have seen you say that.
And it's because it's a rap group. There's not many rap groups that can perform as many songs. They've been in the rap game for over 20 years. They've never had issues with each other, which you can't say about most people or most friendships.
Right.
They know all each other's songs. They out there. It was 3 of them on the stage versus the Diplomats who had about 100 guys on the stage with their shirts off, drinking Hennessy. So,
nice.
I don't know. It was great. So it's been a great week. Speaking of weeks, any rebuttals from last week?
I'm getting a lot of talk about mental health. I think that right now, which is a good thing, mental health is trending. Okay, being able to talk about mental health is trending. We started talking about mental health in the very beginning, and we always tend to come, full circle talking about mental health.
Protect your mental health.
And the interesting thing is, I don't know if it was by accident or if it's just, I don't know. I call it the law of attraction, but now everything I see is about mental health. There's, the Olympic thing about mental health, and I was listening to.
Pardon my sarcasm.
I was listening to a podcast this morning that's actually talking about podcasts, and they literally came up and talked about mental health and podcasts. And I was like, wow, why am I listening to this? It was interesting. And she was actually an advertiser. And so she goes on podcasts and, works with podcasts that have
she rebutted you?
No.
This is the rebuttal.
This is the rebuttal. So, yes. However, but all the rebuttals have been about talking about mental health. So, and actually they've been talking about their own mental health and or like just different things like that. So they didn't really talk about the episode, but they listened and it started a lot of conversations. So that's what we want to hear.
I got some rebuttals myself.
Yeah.
If you recall last week, I kind of went in on this guy.
Yes.
Charlie Kirk. Mm-hmm. I got a lot of rebuttals. Good. I won't say good and bad because I'm not afraid of you cowards. I got some people telling me I don't know what I'm talking about.
Oh.
Of course, they were big fans of his, and I just laughed at him. I was going to shout them out,
Right.
and I said I don't want to give them
Right.
any type of notoriety. Just know that I laugh at y'all comments when y'all reply to me about stuff.
So were they saying you were wrong about the things you said that were factual?
It goes like there's a lot of people who didn't understand it at first. Mm-hmm. They didn't understand why I took such offense to him saying that she was a sociopath and she was selfish.
I mean, there's basically sociopath
lazy, when he was completely wrong. Like, you keep saying that word. I don't think you know what it means.
Yeah.
Which he doesn't. And then he doubled down on it. But I don't even really want to get into that. Just know that you can't tell someone when they are having a mental breakdown. And as an athlete and all that fucking pressure that she got on herself in the Olympics, the game of games, if she feels that she's hurting her team by being out there, or far be it more important, herself, she has the right to step down.
Right.
And then she even came back. Like, she came back and won a bronze medal just by doing the basics.
Right.
Like, she was just getting back out there because she was starting to feel better. But a mental breakdown is something you can't prepare for. You can't tell somebody when they're having it. And who the fuck are you to criticize somebody?
Sociopath and lazy are pretty strong words for somebody.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, he implied lazy. He never said the word lazy, but he implied it.
Right.
And, you know, in his history going against black athletes, you know, that I know exactly what he was saying. He knew what the hell he was doing.
Right.
So.
Any other rebuttals?
Fuck that guy, Charlie Kirk. Everything else, I've been getting a lot of people saying they've been listening, especially they like that we point out about the mental health because you need to have your mental health. You know, protect your peace. Right. Protect your mental health. That's always what I'm going to preach. It's always what I'm down about. And that was the rebuttals, you know, besides the people, you know, there were people who wanted him to respond to me. I wanted him to respond to me.
I know you did.
That would have been.
We tried.
Yeah. Well, when I did it, I didn't do it for him to respond. But from the way that his people were responding, because I was posting that damn thing everywhere. Everywhere there was any conservative talk about Charlie Kirk, I was like, Fuze responds to Charlie Kirk. And some people were like, what? Like, why are you even? It's like, who are you? Well, if you click that link and subscribe and follow.
So that was
find out.
On my part, it was strategic for him to do that. So
I was just speaking my mind. I mean, there's strategy in all chaos. Besides that, we are here. We have a guest. Gus, what's up?
How's it going?
It's going well. I'm happy and I'm healthy. Tell these people your name and your game.
So my name's Tyler Newton. My game is nutrition coaching and personal training here in Charleston. Also online nutrition coach. So happy to be here. And I love this conversation on mental health, by the way.
Oh, good.
I deal with that quite a bit with clients.
Nice. And one of the ways that you can strengthen your mental health is by working out, right? Like, don't get me to quote I didn't research for this conversation, but you know, when you exercise and you get the happy chemicals all inside
endorphins.
You. Endorphins. That's what it is. I was thinking dolphins. Endorphins.
I was thinking dopamine.
Well, it's
okay.
They're related. They're closely related somehow.
You have dopamine and you have endorphins that are released when you work out. Okay. So both actually trigger a happy response in the body. So that's why it's always important for people that may be suffering through mental health issues or feeling slightly depressed or high with the anxiety to get them to start working out and to start eating better. But a lot of people don't recognize is with me being a nutrition coach and personal trainer, both go hand in hand in helping with depression and helping with mental health issues and anxiety as well. So if I can work with a client who has anxiety or depression and I can look at their diet and start to take out some of the things that might cause those issues, I can actually help them be in a better place. And that's something that I actually hold really close to myself because I've had people who have come out of depression just by exercising and fixing their diet. And that's, I think, more valuable than even how much weight they might lose.
Right.
This morning when I referenced that podcast I was listening to before I got here, and she's a sponsor.
Part of my sarcasm.
Yeah. I think it's called BetterHelp, and I'm going to look into it more. It's called BetterHelp. Her specific was, she was talking about men specifically, and being angry and doing bad things like shootings and this and that and the other.
Is she saying that only men get angry and do
no?
shootings?
And she was saying that it's a big pandemic. It's a big pandemic of angry men and
men don't have outlets.
Health. And that's what she was talking about. And so she then referenced back to working out and taking care. She goes, any man who's, stifled and angry and bitter and lashes out basically needs to go work on their health, not their talking.
Not with steroids though. That does have the opposite effect. If you use steroids to work out and try to take that out.
Yeah, that would be a rager. But specifically, she said that is the key right now for men's health, men's mental health.
Men need to be working out. Men need to be there for each other to actually talk about the things that we were raised not to talk about with each other.
Agreed. With your asshole friends.
Yeah, I have plenty of those as well. Right. But I mean, I think the biggest holdup right now in men's health is the fact that we have to carry so many things and then keep it bottled up inside that we're seeing more and more men be called kind of feminine because they want to talk about their feelings and
soft.
Yeah, all of these things. And what we're not realizing is these men are actually just learning how to cope with their emotions and to be able to talk about it so that way we don't have that pent up anger. That way we're not lashing out at our significant others. That way we're not an asshole at the bar when somebody bumps into us. I mean,
don't bump into me at the bar.
Asshole.
But it is something we need to be discussing more for men, because I think if we as men can start to talk to each other about our emotions and our feelings, we can really then open a big floodgate of things that are issues that have been going on since our grandparents.
Right.
And nobody wants to give us that outlet. So we have to actually come in and take that outlet. And I think a lot of the men out there that struggle with, not only depression and anxiety. Anger is number one.
Sorry, I didn't mean to throw that
bottle
out
up emotions.
No, I mean, I really think it's a topic that when you look at why so many men are angered, I think it's because they don't know that they can actually talk about their feelings, and it's just bottled up. So then it comes out through anger.
Right.
Which is why I always promote, if you're playing part of my sarcasm bingo, this is where I say everyone needs to speak to a therapist.
Yeah.
Sure.
Everyone needs an outlet. Now, some men do go to the gym as their outlet.
Me included, Matt.
Yeah. I mean, I don't go to the gym as much as I would like, but I do get my workout on. Shout out to the cult.
So,
are we going there? Are we going there?
No, not yet. We can bring that up because but just as far as an outlet, like my personal outlets, like I play kickball, like that's an outlet for me. Or I do music, or listen to music, or I even write to music every now and then. I'll go to the bar and hang out with my favorite assholes. Those are my friends. I'm not saying we're sitting around in a circle of men just eliciting emotions, but occasionally it'll come out with the shots and the drinks.
See, because that's funny.
What
stereotype?
The circle of men.
Just a bunch of guys talking about their emotions.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny.
But we do hang out. Hey, you know that men don't cheat. We go to Bible study and stuff, right? So that's what we talk about at Bible study. When we're done talking about how Jesus made it a fish fry, and he gave everybody wine,
right?
Got everybody loose. Anyway, so so there are different outlets, which I agree with. But to keep it on subject while switching subject, it's called a segue. Do you have people who try to use you as an outlet, knowing that that's your business, and they try to get you on and I'm sure we all do it, like, hey, if you work at Domino's, grab me a piece on your way home, but I'm not gonna pay you for delivery. You were coming this way, but but in that retrospect, and that actually touches back to where we had a whole conversation. I don't know if you checked it, where it's like your friends don't owe you money, but they do owe you support. So just with that in mind, that's how I feel about it. That's how we feel about it. But you have people who do that a lot. Because I can imagine in your field, and especially in Charleston, where Charleston's I lived in Jersey, I lived in Baltimore, I've been in Chicago. Charleston's the healthiest city that I lived in. And that's not saying that everybody's healthy.
I don't know if that's saying much.
No.
Right, exactly. But as far as like they have, everybody rides a bike here, or everybody runs, they have designated walk paths. Everybody has walked the bridge at least once, or you're not a Charleston person. Like
you can't claim you're from Charleston until you walk the bridge.
You can't even claim you live here unless you walk that damn bridge at least once in your life. So it's like everybody has a healthy feat to it. They're healthy as well as they love dogs. Stop kissing your fucking dogs in the mouth. But do you have people that I
do have people that come to me, and especially my online clients and in-person clients. You have to tread the line very carefully in my industry. And
let me ask you a quick question while you're saying that. Just is there a line between authenticity and audacity? Do you know what I mean by that? Like if I'm being authentic, like, hey man, I need help.
Yes.
Can you guide me in the right way? Versus, hey, I know you do this. Show me what to do. Like, is that
right? So, yes. I mean, we all have those clients that sit there and come to us, and I just want to look at them and be like, did you really just ask me that? Like, I don't want to get down that tangent, but yes, I mean, there's plenty of clients that come to me and I just go, really? Like, you're asking me that? Like, no, like you don't pay me for that. You pay me for this. But there's also so many clients that when you talk to them, because you do want to hit on lifestyle, you want to hit on everything that's going on, because I'm really big on biofeedback on my clients. I'm really big on, how's your sleep? Like, that's going to play a role. How are you feeling mood wise? Do you get to 2:00 and then you feel like you crash?
eating habits.
And then you obviously get into eating habits, and then you talk about stress. I mean, one of the questions I always ask my clients each week, I go, what are your stress levels right now? Because we need to take that into consideration into like why you might not be having success with your goal body or your goal body image. And so, yes, I have a lot of clients that I almost teeter into therapists sometimes because they have to offload on me what is going on. And I always like to look at it twofold. Some of them are using you just to be their therapist. And then others are actually telling you this because you need to hear it as a coach so you can understand where they're at mentally. Because if you're highly stressed right now, I can't go ask you to work out 4 or 5 times a week. I need to know, like,
it's not going to be effective.
Not at all. And so the other thing is I need to know like how stressed out you are right now, because I need to know how hard to push you in the gym. Those that are super stressed out and then they go in and they do high intensity workouts and just try to like murder themselves, you're adding stress to your body. Right. And we have to understand that.
You're relieving stress by adding stress.
Exactly. Like just because working out can be a stress reliever, it's also a stressor on the body. And so when we talk about stress and the effects it plays on the body, it's not just mental, it's physical too. And that's a big thing that plays a role in people's success in losing weight, in being healthy, your mental state as well. So yeah, I mean, plenty of clients. I've been their therapist, and I mean, I will say, I'm not going to say any names because it's somebody that's local and works in Charleston. I will not do it. That's client confidentiality.
We'll call him Billy Bob.
I'm like a doctor. I won't rat him out. But
Billy Bob, this is about you, Billy Bob.
One of the big things we had to work on was an alcohol problem. We had to start learning how to take alcohol out of the situation because he used to show up late. He used to not want to work out as intensely as we needed to, but yet he had these strong goals. And so I looked at him and I said, you're letting alcohol control your life because you're not going to sleep till 2 a.m. because you want to be everybody's friend and you want people to sit there and you only know them as your friend and drinking buddy. I said, what if you actually stopped going out to the bar late at night? I'm not saying you can't drink at all, but what if we just cut alcohol out and you actually start asking your friends to go out to dinner with no alcohol or invite them over and cook dinner, a healthy dinner at that. And then you're not coming in here hungover and not wanting to work out. So we actually went...
That'll change a lot of your friends, I'll tell you that much.
And I found this out myself the hard way. Whenever I got out of the restaurant industry in downtown Charleston, I learned a lot of times the people I was hanging out with while in the bar industry, once I left, didn't want to hang out anymore because I didn't want to go to the bar.
That may factor into the fact that they are very alcohol dependent.
Yep.
And when you're removing yourself from that situation, they might feel a guilt trip.
Absolutely.
I've dealt with some friends like that too.
I like to use the crab in the bucket analogy on that one, where when you start to try to better yourself, your friends that are stuck in their place and don't want to better themselves are going to try to pull you back in the bucket.
Pull you down.
And so I think that's the biggest thing that a lot of people need to learn, especially if you're in Charleston. I think it's a big problem we have with our food and bev industry is you guys don't want to be healthy because you only know your friends as, hey, we're going to go out after we get off our shift, relieve our stress, and booze till 2, 3 a.m.
Cocaine and booze. Charleston's favorite.
I mean, it'll help you lose weight for a little bit.
Wait a minute. Does that work? Sorry.
Does it smell like cocaine to you?
I was just listening. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't advise that. But I want to get back to like describing his journey because it's really powerful. And when we took alcohol away for 7 months, and it was his choice. Like I didn't push it, but I just said like let's try it for 2 weeks and just see, and let's make these lifestyle changes as well. And he went 7 months without it, and he started making so much more money. His restaurant was more successful. Nice. He started side ventures off of the restaurant that now are generating even more revenue for his business.
Is this the guy that owned Arby's?
This is not.
Okay. Stop, Fuze.
I'm in the Charleston Food and Bev group. I know where you're going with that. So we I'm trying to stay on track here. Now I understand the name of the podcast. But it's one of those things that I always tell people: if you want to level up, take out alcohol and take out your friends that you think, take out the people that don't want you.
The crabs.
Yeah,
they're not really friends in the long run. They're associates.
Yeah.
If they don't support your journey, they're not really friends.
No, and fuck them, to be honest. I mean,
he sound like me.
I've actually really held off on saying the F word a couple of times, and I'm proud of myself for that. But I'm probably going to start letting it fly here a little bit more.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, you really have to say kind of fuck it and do you, and the people that are truly your friends will hang around and support you, and you'll know who they are, and you'll also know the ones that only wanted to hang out with you because, hey, you're the person that they can call and they know that you'll support their habit. So when you stop supporting somebody's habit of drinking because you're their drinking buddy and that's all they care about, you'll really start to see and define that relationship that you have with that person. And I want people that want me to be better. Yeah. I mean, I've learned now, I'm 31. I've learned now in the past 2 to 3 years that if I want to hang out with a friend, I'm more than likely not trying to go to a bar. I will go do anything else before I go to a bar because I don't want to wake up the next day when I have a bunch of work to do and feel like crap and not get it done. And so, hey, if you want to come over to the house and chill, man, hey, look, come over. I'll hang out all night long with you because
Will you cook?
Yeah, I'll even cook. Yeah, I mean,
he wasn't inviting you.
No, you can come over.
I was just thinking about the healthy meals that you would get over there.
Yeah. You'd get very healthy, boring meals because if my wife is cooking, it's going to be really fun and off of Pinterest. If I'm cooking, I'm a basic bro, man.
Yeah. I'm glad you worded that the way you did. I thought you can call your wife's cooking boring. I'm like,
so
bro.
Too.
No,
I was like, wow,
no.
he's going
like,
there.
what's the edit button?
No. My wife is amazing, and she doesn't believe.
Shout out to the wife.
Hey, shout out Savvy. She doesn't believe that she's as good as a cook as she is, but she's a great cook, and I love when she cooks. But unfortunately, she gets off work a little bit later, and usually I'm working at the house now, so I tend to cook dinner. And she's like, "This is so boring." I'm like, "I'm sorry, like I like my chicken, I like my steak and potatoes."
I
Like,
did not see her calling your cooking boring.
oh my god, yeah. My wife will call me out quicker than anybody else, and that's why I love her so much because she keeps me level headed and
Amen.
wants me to push. So
Nice.
any of you people that are looking for a significant other to actually support you, don't get upset when they call you out because they want the best for you. And I've learned that about my wife.
They do it out of love.
My wife knows when I need that kick in the dick.
Hey,
Oh, I love it. I'm gonna write that down. Kick.
don't
in
kick
the
AP
dick.
in the dick.
I mean,
He's not
fortunately,
talking literally.
Yeah, not literally, just figuratively. Okay, like she knows the right buttons to push, and I think that's one of the reasons why when I found my wife, like I knew she was the one because I knew she would call me out on my shit, and she also saw the potential that I didn't see in myself at first, and so
Love those people.
She really was a big advocate for somebody that's always supported my hard work ethic, but then also seeing that I was just I would like to say I was a sheep. I was always working just to collect the cash in front of me. I wasn't working on my vision. Mm-hmm. And so she finally helped me realize like, hey,
She helped you visualize your action and actualize your vision.
Exactly.
It's our motto.
I see it up on the wall over there. Actualize the vision. I love it. I actually talk about in my framework. I always talk about, my APV method, which is, creating autonomy in your life, creating your vision, and then creating principles. And so I really think if you can live off of those three things in your life, like you're going to be very successful
and happy.
And very happy. Like you have
success at first. Work on your happiness and your mental health, and success will come.
Yeah, absolutely. And doing things for the right reason because you want to do them for others. Quit being all about your money and like what you're going to get in return. Right. Give as much as you want to receive, and I guarantee you'll actually receive tenfold if you give.
Authenticity versus audacity.
So,
I like that.
I really like I'm sitting here taking notes. You're such a coach.
You really are taking notes.
I'm not talking a lot. I mean, you're talking, and I'm just letting you.
It's very rare that she doesn't talk.
I know, and I'm not even interjecting, but I'm sitting here like taking notes because you're coach, and you were earlier. We're talking about people getting your coaching for free. So,
yeah.
So thank you.
You're welcome.
So one of the
this first one's on me.
So
we got to get you out of the cult first.
Right.
No.
Wait, do you have questions for him?
Yes.
Well, before you ask those questions,
go ahead.
Let's go ahead and take a break.
Awesome.
And then we'll be back after this break with more Part of My Sarcasm with Ashley D and Fuze B.
There are a lot of ways to reach out to a friend about their mental health. Learn how you can help at seizetheawkward.org.
This is Part of My Sarcasm. We are back, episode 14. I'm Fuze B.
Ashley D.
And we got
Tyler N.
There you go. See,
nice.
He gets it. He gets it.
Yeah. Thanks for picking up.
Yeah. All right, so we are back, and before we get back into what we're talking about, it's time for Ashley D's favorite segment.
What?
Do we care?
Oh. I don't care this time.
All right. Alen Hadzic is a loser.
Uh-oh. Are we ranting again?
Unfortunately. Alen Hadzic is a guy that's on the fencing team, and he has been charged with multiple sexual assault allegations.
Oh, I know where this is going.
The U.S. Center for Safe Sport is tasked with investigating such sexual abuse in Olympic programs. He was suspended from going to the Olympics because he had several complaints against him.
Fair.
He, in turn, protested to get into the Olympics because he said it's not fair that he has accusations, which usually I am all for. I've said it before. Everyone deserves a right to be heard.
Okay.
Everyone deserves their right to accuse people if they feel like they've been done wrong. In the same breath, every person that's been accused gets the right to defend themselves.
Okay.
But do you go to the Olympics while your teammates basically say you did it? Like, all his teammates did it. In fact, when they all, and he's not even that good. He's an alternate, I believe. His teammates literally came out and said the system failed. So 10 days after he secured the spot, a group of women took their concerns about him straight to the top. The 6 women fencers, including 2 Olympic athletes, wrote to the committee and said that he should not be allowed to represent the U.S. because he's under investigation for at least 3 accusations of sexual misconduct. This guy's from Jersey too, but he's not my part of Jersey. Fuck that guy.
Dirty Jersey.
Montclair, this is just one of yours, Montclair. Not a Passaic guy. All right.
So did he get to go?
Yes.
Oh, that's bad.
2 months later, he was one of 24 Olympic fencers in Tokyo, an alternate on the men's épée team.
Yeah.
Attaining a rarefied spot at the pinnacle of his sport to the dismay of his teammates. Though last month they suspended him from international competition, he fought to get that prohibition lifted through an arbitration process that ultimately permitted him to participate in the Summer Games. Acknowledging how bad the allegations were, the people in charge said they created a safety plan to keep him.
I'm sorry.
No, get this.
No.
It gets worse.
Hear you more.
Check, Tyler, stay with me.
Okay.
I'm with you.
They created a safety plan to keep him away from women and out of the Olympic Village. He flew in on a separate plane from his teammates. He's staying at a hotel 30 minutes away from other athletes, and he won't be allowed to practice alongside women teammates. After he appealed those conditions, the entire roster of Team USA fencers signed a letter demanding the restrictions stay in place. But to many of his teammates, he shouldn't have been representing the country at all. Here's one. We are pissed off that this is even a thing we have to deal with. An Olympic fencer who filed a complaint against him. He's being protected over and over again. The complaints against him are not no secret. Sorry, this is going a little bit longer than the usual one, but I want to make sure I get these facts out. There's no secret in the close-knit fencing community. Interviews with over 30 people, including the fencers and officials, including 3 women who have actually accused him of sexual misconduct, show a pattern. They say there's a pattern of sexual misconduct and violent behavior going back to 2010 when he was a first-year student at Columbia University.
Please let me talk because I'm getting mad over here.
I'll let you, because I don't want to go off on a
Okay.
rant. This is
All
not
right.
even the rant section. This guy's a fucking loser.
Okay.
I did see his teammates when they all stood out, at the end
Mm-hmm.
of the competition, and he stood there with the U.S. mask on,
Mm-hmm.
and all his teammates had on black masks. I'm sorry, they had on pink masks
Mm-hmm.
to show that they are standing in solidarity with the women who he sexually
I
assaulted.
have to write this down.
He's a fucking scumbag, and he's a scumbag, but also the process to which they let him participate in those games, even though he didn't get to play because he was an alternate, so he wasn't good enough to be the guy, but he was the guy behind the guy behind the guy holding a sword. The sword holder.
No pun intended. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. I'm gonna let you talk.
All right.
Do we care about
So I care, and this
It's a
is
fucking
why.
loser.
Here's the thing. I
Sorry,
do
Tyler.
believe things like this
You're good.
have to happen to come to light to start conversations. That's always my catch-all.
Yeah.
Secondly, if he was accused of this and still didn't do it, then he should have backed down out of respect for the Olympics, the team, the teammates, and the process, and
the woman he actually did it to.
In that too, even if he didn't do it, there's that much stuff around it. If he didn't do it, he would have backed down.
Where there's smoke, there's fire.
Yeah, but he would have backed down.
You got 3 women.
But somebody that's in that position of abuse is going to be a fighter, and somebody who's going to push the envelope and still be there no matter if anybody wants them. Yeah, he's working the system. That is an abuser. That is an abuser's behavior. It's a narcissistic behavior.
Very narcissistic.
Yeah. And so, I mean, and I agree with it. You know, you're not guilty until you or not innocent.
You're innocent until proven guilty.
However, he's showing his cards.
That smoking gun looking real good in your hands right now.
He's showing his cards, and I think the system did fail. And the whole part about going to the Olympics and us watching it is because we want to you can chime in too when I'm done. Sorry. But
chime in whatever. This might be a while.
Wait your turn.
But the sportsmanship and the sports mentality, and the reason why we watch sports is because we want to see team. Okay, yep. We want to understand teams so that we can maybe, bring it home and when we do teams at work and teams in this, because we want to use it as a model. That's not modeling behavior when the teammates don't want you and you have to fight your way in.
When your team, so in sports, and Tyler, jump in this one. In sports, your teammates will have your back even when you do some fucked up shit, right? Yeah. For the most part, you're wrong to the outside world. I mean, you're wrong to the outside world, but we have to stand there and say we have your back.
Not solidarity. If we don't want you here.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like they're not doing that. Yeah. I've seen teammates cover up some terrible shit, and these guys are like, "No, you fucking rapists! You're not standing next to us. Go stand over there."
If your team turns on you, that should be a telltale sign,
right?
Like just like you were just saying. Like I've seen teammates like kind of band together and try to like protect a guy who just maybe made the wrong decision, but like in his heart, like if it was one time and like, dude, you just made like a bad choice and like how you went about something, then that's one thing.
Drunk driving or got into a fight or something.
Like something stupid that to the public is going to look bad. But at the same time, like it's not who you normally are on a regular basis. Like we've all fucked up. Let's just be honest. We've all done dumb shit.
Not me though. I don't do
me neither. Sorry, me neither. But go ahead.
Not until the statute of limitations.
Tyler has.
I'm sorry. Tyler's a bad guy. No.
I mean, we've all done something that we're like, damn, I really regret that. And luckily, like most of us I'm always one of these people that I hate to throw stones in a glass house, because I always like to say, I'm going to give somebody a benefit of a doubt until it's a repeated behavior.
Right.
Once it's a repeated behavior, then I think to myself, okay, this person is either narcissistic, a psychopath, or he's 100% guilty.
Or a sociopath. You see, that's how you use the word sociopath, Charles Kirk.
And so for me, it's like one of those things where if the teammates are throwing you under the bus, then yes, we are failing the women who he's assaulted by them not then taking him away from it, and if anything,
and then they protected him,
flying him out by himself, making him stay by himself. Like now we're giving you privileged things.
Well, they make him wear a chastity belt with a lock or something.
No, they would put that on the women, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
so, that's true.
But I mean, now we're also saying that what if it happened to some of the female fencing USA team members that he assaulted, and now they're having to be in the Olympics while they're trying to compete at their peak. And they have this stress of this guy being here.
Around.
So now, not only are we already putting the weight of the Olympics on your shoulders, we're telling you that you have to compartmentalize this guy who sexually assaulted you. And I don't know if that's the case with what happened, but I'm just saying.
Let me add one more there to what you're saying. There's no crowd, which means that the people cheering for her, he's one of those people cheering. As an American, and there's three of those girls. So he's one of the people cheering for the Americans and for the fencing team. It's like, you fucking narcissist.
And hold on, we're already having people, like from our last episode, we're talking about mental health and the athletes. Yeah. And now we're talking about this and the mental health of these athletes, but that's okay.
Right.
But the other thing's not okay.
Yeah. Right. I mean, and here's the other thing, and you made a good point. I was thinking about this. You're saying, like, okay, if he didn't do it, like, he would back down and not go to the Olympics and do it for his team to not be
if he cared about the team.
Afterthought for the team. But yet, we just watched half of America, like, get onto Simone Biles about trying to put her teammates first, knowing that she had the Twisties, which, by the way, I did want to say this. half you people that want to sit here and call out Simone Biles and you don't know what the Twisties are.
Exactly.
Imagine you're driving a car and you don't know which way is forward and which way is backwards, and the car is just spinning. And now you're asking somebody to go on a balance beam, do flips and shit, and then she's not knowing where she's at in the middle of the air. So now take that to you driving down the street and you don't know which way is forward and which way is backwards. That's what it's like to have the Twisties. So until you've worked with athletes and gymnasts and people that have gone through it, which is why a lot of Olympians who you've never even heard about, or I'm sorry, gymnasts who have never made it to the Olympics and they get this, like, you can't control when it goes away. So please be quiet if you don't know anything about that.
Talking to you, Charles Kirk.
Twisties.
Fucking asshole.
Well, there's a lot. There's a lot of people.
I know, but he's the face.
I know
of
that's
me.
your favorite one, but
he's not my favorite.
But there are a lot of people that don't get it, because when you say, to be fair, I didn't know what that meant when she lost her head. I say that all the time. I lost my mind.
You lose your head.
It's vertigo for a very brief second of time, and when we're talking about doing a flip and your head can hit a balance beam and knock you out cold or possibly paralyze you, that's dangerous.
I gave examples last week. It's happened.
Yeah, but to be fair, when I first heard it in the media, I didn't know what that was, so I just thought they were using it in the context of regular grammar as she lost her head. Well, I lose my head all the time. I mean, does that make sense? So if you spin it, no pun intended, if you spin it that way and I hear
you twisty it that way.
If you twisty it that way, then I don't really understand the context of what happened.
Well, they do that on purpose.
I know.
But look, I don't want to get into this too deep.
Sorry.
Because then y'all going to make me go back.
We care, by the
Charles. So we definitely care. We agree
Just
that
a little.
Alen Hadzic is a
just
loser.
Treat people as humans.
Ouch.
Be a human being and treat people as a fellow human being with respect, and have respect for their mental health, whether you understand it or not.
And stop raping them.
Go ahead.
That sounds real easy, right? Don't rape girls. Yeah. I mean, guys get raped too. Don't rape people.
Okay.
On the issue of sexual allegations, we went way over with that one. That's cool though, because I liked it.
It was a good
on the issue of sexual allegations, Joe said, "Go, gotta go." Joe Biden said Andrew Cuomo, you're right, should resign after him. I like his brother Chris Cuomo. He has a really great show on CNN. He's like, he's not a bullshitter. Should have talked to his brother. Said Andrew Cuomo should resign after an investigation into allegations of sexual harassment. I think he should resign, Biden said. He called for him to resign because he believes the governor should be prosecuted after an independent investigation found the New York governor had harassed current and former state employees. Being from up in Jersey, I can tell you this is not surprising. This is not new with Cuomo. There's been rumors for years. That's why when he stood up as a really good guy for quarantine, and he was like the one that they were looking to get shit done, everybody I know from up in New York was just like, the people like, he should be the president. Like, no, you don't know that guy. Yeah, he's doing pretty good now for with COVID-19, how he's taking care of his people. You're supposed to. You're the fucking governor. But he's not that great he doesn't have a really great rep when it comes to that. Cuomo has not said if he's gonna step down yet, but they might be looking to impeach him because he denied the findings and said that his behavior intended to convey warmth and it was being weaponized. So my behavior to convey warmth is being weaponized. There's a video included with a slideshow of photos of the governor touching and kissing people, including men. Again, I'm very objective. I don't know if you can tell that. When they show slides, it's like, if the guy is Italian, I believe, and he kisses people on the cheek when he greets them. I know a lot of Spanish people that do this as well where I grew up, and I do it sometimes. I don't necessarily kiss men. That's sorry. But I have some Italian men that do that to me. I'm like, bro, like my man Gunny, he's not Italian, but he probably know Gunny. He's a food and bev guy. Yeah. Gunny run up on you and hug you and kiss you on the cheek, and you be like, I love you too. But
okay, but culturally,
so when they do that, when they put slideshows, that's patting the stats to me. So I don't like that aspect. However, just where there's smoke, there's fire. There's a lot of women who complained about him even before he was governor. And it's always been shut down. He always puts, "Oh, that's just how I am." Well, if that's how you are all the time, and you're making people uncomfortable all the time, change yourself, right?
So
you gotta look for inner
we're
change.
still talking about Cuomo?
Cuomo.
Or
This is
Biden?
Cuomo.
Or Biden?
No, we're not talking about Biden. We're
my
talking about
bad.
Cuomo.
Sorry.
Cuomo. Biden said that he should resign. You know, he's the highest ranking Democrat, and Cuomo's a Democrat. So they always ask them, whenever it comes to shit like that, they throw it on the president's plate, regardless of the president, because they want a soundbite and they want to box you in with politics. So Biden fucked them up and said, yeah, he should resign.
I mean,
what do you want me to do?
Yeah.
I don't need the guy no more.
The whole political thing. I mean, the whole political
I'm
thing.
in office. I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good.
The whole political thing, you know, I think you did make one point, but I don't really not that I don't care about what's going on, but, you know, politics is messy and they mess it up and the whole,
Politics is
it's just
messy.
all over the place. But I do like something you did say, though. If you know you're making other people, and we're going back to the first guy, if you know you're making people uncomfortable, then you should do something.
Right.
Okay. And that goes for, you know, that guy who was making everybody uncomfortable with the Olympics, you know, at Cuomo. I mean, if you
I'll
know
give you an
that,
example of where I work somewhere.
Yeah.
And I would like hug all the girls, and then someone told HR that I hug everybody. Mm-hmm. It was a girl that I wasn't cool with that told them that, so I wasn't greeting her. I didn't really talk to her like that, and I guess she was jealous.
So did you stop?
Of course I did, because like what it did to me is that I ended up not being with that job anymore. But I not because of that, but it made me uncomfortable
knowing
that, and so I shut down, and that actually sucked for my other coworker. They're like, "Why aren't you like you used to always like come and hug me?" And she's like, "Yeah, like what happened to you?" It's like
and they probably wanted those hugs because they wanted somebody to probably like.
It was encouraging. You walking, you know.
So there is a fine line.
Rest in peace, Kayla. She was one of those people that, you know, she would always show me love in the morning.
So basically, there's a fine line between you guys,
your comfortability and my
and
traits.
then, but there's also, if you know, obviously Cuomo knows, obviously Biden knows, and obviously the guy I'm talking about that we just talked about with the Olympics,
Alen Hadzic,
they all know.
Yeah,
they all know they're making people uncomfortable, and if you're going through life and you're making people uncomfortable, then God damn it, I mean, just please do something about it. Don't act like, no, I didn't do it, this was wrong, I was framed, this is political, these are just allegations. You know, I mean, you're obviously doing something wrong.
Yeah.
Hello.
I mean, at the end of the day, here's the thing, like, I hug people all the time. I'm a hugger. Like, but a lot of times now you almost have to be like, hey, I'm a hugger, and like warn somebody and be like, hey, I can't just walk up to you and give you a hug even if you're my best friend, because
especially with COVID, I'd rather hug you than shake your hand these days.
Exactly.
Right, give me the elbow, bro.
But so many people, to your point, like when you got called out by HR for like giving people hugs, I'm sure all of those people were also your friends. You were close with them, and you knew where you stood.
They interviewed them. It was right. It was a thing.
And so when somebody else brings it up, it's their own insecurity and possibly something that's happened to them. That's probably why they complained. So, I mean, yeah, you want to respect their feelings in a way, but you also have to like realize to your point of, don't complain if other people aren't complaining. Like, it's one thing if those people that you're hugging or like kissing, if you're Italian and doing the whole thing, like if the people if you're doing it and the people are cool with it, that's fine. If somebody does bring it up, like that girl did, and complained about it, well, then you take notes and you're like, okay, well, I'll back off in front of her. But to me, it's just like, you have to know your ground and you have to know who you're with in order to know what you can do. And I don't want to say get away with, because then that sounds really bad.
Sounds creepy.
But like,
it's cultural versus creepy.
But it's one of those things where it's like, you just have to know your audience. You have to know who you're around and your friends. And really and truly, just nowadays you can't do anything without somebody being upset.
Right.
True.
Like, but swing it back on topic. Do we care about Cuomo and I guess Biden's for effect telling him to step down?
I mean, it's going to take a lot, I think, to get him out of there. And I think it's going to have to be another massive uprising like we've seen with like Epstein and some of the other people. But yes, I mean, I think he should step down personally, because like we keep saying, where there's smoke, there's fire.
Where there's smoke, there's fire. If
I like that answer. I'm going with his answer.
Cheater. All right, moving on. Local Charleston legend, Low County Olympian Saunders explains X gesture. So the Incredible Hulk, that's the lady, and her name is Raven Saunders. Her mom just died recently too, so rest in peace to her mom. But this happened. She won a medal, and her mom died a couple days later. But Raven Saunders, she wears the Incredible Hulk mask. If you ever seen her in the Olympic, has nothing to hide. When she won the silver, which she almost got the gold, it was very close, but she won the silver. she threw up an X, like when she was on that the platform, podium, right? Podium platform.
Podium.
Same. Yeah, I heard it both ways. So they asked her, "What does the X mean?" And she said, "It's the intersection of where all people meet, all people who are opposed." I'm sorry. It's the intersection of where all people who are oppressed meet. And it was a meaningful gesture for her because she's openly gay. She's contemplated suicide, which means that she has mental health issues. Protect your mental health. She lived in poverty. She's had depression. She's seen that ravage her Black community. I just liked it. She said she often wondered if the Olympics, which make a grand point of celebrating diversity but often struggles to live up to that mission, would even have a spot for a person like her. So that's why she did it. Do we care about this? I do, personally.
Of course, I believe that people should stand up for what they believe in. And if it means, throwing up a big X sign.
Yeah. I'm a Cowboys fan. I thought she was throwing up the X for Des Bryant. I was like, yeah, she's a Cowboys fan. But then she explained it. I'm still rocking with it, though.
I love her. I love her. I think she's making a big stand.
Person.
She's amazing.
Well,
I like the message that to be honest, like this is the first time I'm really hearing about it. I didn't quite see it or know much about it. So this is kind of my first take on it. But I like the message that you just read there. And in my head, I was actually thinking about this the other night where, when we start talking about like how our country's been very divided in the media lately, I feel like if you talk to people, we're less divided than what you see on the media. That's just my personal opinion.
Agreed.
Because I think when you actually talk to people face to face, you can actually find the common ground and have a conversation and not just an opinion. And I think conversation is very important right now, especially in our culture where everything is very divided. We can take this down a really big rabbit hole.
This country ain't got the best history. But yeah, I agree.
but to her point, my biggest thing is like right now, if you really look at the Olympics, we as Americans should feel very, very honored, I think, to be Americans because we are so diverse in the athletes that we have.
Right.
You don't really know what
you don't know what they are.
When you look at Americans, we're Black, we're Asian, we're white,
we're
Mexican, like
trans.
gay. Yeah, we are of all colors, all preferences,
all races and creed,
everything. And so to me, my thought process is we are so lucky to look at Americans in such a broad light.
That's amazing. I like how you put that.
We get to see all of us included.
Exactly.
Inclusive. And they threatened to take her medal away, and she said they'll have to. She said I'll run before they take this medal. Yeah, because they said you can protest like during your performances or whatnot, but they don't want it. It is the same way they've had the gloves up in the air with the black fist. 68 Olympics, 60, one of those in the 60s. She said I'll run across back to America. So I don't even know how to swim, but they'll have to catch me. Like it was funny as hell.
Olympic swimmer on the way back.
I don't know how to swim, but they're gonna have to catch me and take this medal back. So
if you're standing up for everybody and you're trying to be inclusive, I think that should be something that we actually glorify and not sit there and try to suppress.
Find a loophole to suppress it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
All right, so I got one more.
Oh my goodness.
A coroner said a Black Missouri, to show me state, St. Louis. I hear y'all not gonna be proud about this one.
It's hot in here.
A coroner, okay, Nelly, Chingy. A coroner said a Black Missouri teen committed suicide in the attic of a man known for racist social media post. So suicide in a racist attic. A jury disagreed.
Wow.
This is going to get tricky.
More than 3 months after a Black Missouri teenager was found dead at a party hosted by a man whose social media can best be described as how to be a racist. A Missouri jury. This is from The Root. And they always throw in their little sass when they write these articles. A Missouri jury has overruled the coroner's initial findings and declared that the 19-year-old's gunshot wound was not self-inflicted. On April 23rd, Durante Martin attended a party with friends at a rural home in Fredericktown, Missouri. First off, don't go to a rural home in Fredericktown, Missouri. That doesn't even sound right.
Sounds like that movie.
Sounds like you shouldn't even have been there, bro. But he's gone, so rest in peace. Right. The 6'3", 250-pound former high school football star was attending an 18th birthday party for the daughter of James Wade, whose home was adorned with multiple Confederate flags. Wade was known for sharing racially charged posts on white Facebook.
I'm sorry, what? White Facebook?
On white Facebook.
Okay.
He maybe white Facebook groups.
Oh,
like
okay.
White supremacists?
Yeah, like they're missing a word.
I was very confused. I was like, I mean, my Facebook comes up white. Like,
Mine's is blue and white.
Yeah.
I call it the Blue app, not to be confused with the Bird app. That's Twitter. All right, so known for sharing racially charged posts on white supremacy Facebook groups, including one with a picture of a black man and chains captioned, "My great-great-great-grandfather's tractor." See, that would have got him punched in the mouth by me.
I'm sorry. Why would that be up on Facebook? Oh my Christ.
That would have got it. See, remember I said I don't like to use my hands? That would have got the hands used. Like, I would have been pleasured to be invited to that party.
Me too.
Another meme featured a black dog. I had a black dog once. I named him food stamps. So it's like but he insists he's not racist. I was born in the South, and I'm not ashamed to show the Confederate flag. You guys lost, or anything. The racist memes already on Facebook. I just shared them. It's not like I made them or put them up there, right?
Okay.
I'm not a racist. All right, so if you share racist shit with the idea that you believe in that shit, you're racist, bro. But I'm glad you tried to clear that up by saying you didn't make the memes, you just shared them. So
now what have they decided that he did shoot them?
What he could not explain was how Martin ended up in his home in the middle of the night with a bullet in his head. In a 3:01 a.m. call to 911, Wade claimed to have heard a gunshot during the bash and found Martin dead shortly after the homeowner returned from fishing in the middle of the night on his daughter's birthday.
Well, I mean, I have been catfishing late at night.
I'm
not trying to like take away from like it's not fishy, but I'm just saying like I've gone fishing in the middle of the night. So
on your daughter's birthday?
Well, I don't have any children, so
but if you
I doubt that. I mean, that's what I'm saying is fishy.
It's
but
fishy.
listen, it's very fishy. Like some slippery.
Which part? Which part?
Witnesses say that that Martin seemed paranoid that evening, while others believe that Wade was involved in Martin's death with two other partygoers. Where's the daughter? She'll always be the one to crack. At least one witness statement claims that Wade killed the teen. Oh, so you got a witness that said it, and y'all still thought it was suicide until a jury had to find it different. Good job, Missouri. Idiots. It took a pathologist. He performed the autopsy and determined that Martin committed suicide, even though Martin's body didn't have suit. That's like the black. Yeah.
I feel like this could be an episode of Crime Junkies.
An imprint of the gun's muzzle are deposits of gunpowder, typical of self-inflicted gun wounds. He claimed that it was a sign of a suicide. Oh, he said the missing tells was that the coroner cleaned the teen's body after the autopsy, so they couldn't see it.
Liar.
His mother didn't buy it. Of course, she didn't. The family commissioned their own autopsy, which determined that it was a fucking suicide. I mean, it was a fucking murder and not a suicide. Yeah, I don't want to read more of this.
I'm so proud of our system.
Fuck that guy. What was his name again? He's going on my fuck you list. Martin is his name. What the racist guy making James Wade? You're fucking racist, and I hope they bury you under the fucking jail. Do we care about this? What do we care about this? I hate racism.
Of course we care. It's dumb. The system's stupid.
Stop being racist.
So did they end up finding him guilty or not guilty?
They overturned. They overturned. It took them less than 2 hours to overturn the coroner's decision and determine that he was killed.
Okay.
Now they must determine who is responsible for Martin's death. But don't you have a witness that said it was the guy who said he was fishing? Why is that not a credible statement if that witness was there?
Yeah, I mean, time you have a witness, aren't we supposed to? I mean, there's also been things coming out saying witnesses aren't as reliable, but in that setting where it's like it's a party and there's people coming in and out and it's 3 a.m. like if there's a witness at 3 a.m. like
I've watched enough crime TV.
Well, that's what's going on in my head is I also watch a lot of crime TV, so I'm trying to like piece it all together.
Hey, maybe this 19-year-old kid with everything to go for him drove 27 miles to a person's house he didn't know. Well, he knew the girl, but he didn't know. Found his attic. Said, "Hey, this guy is racist. Let me kill myself in his attic." While the people are partying.
Was he sleeping with the daughter?
That's probably where that's what I'm thinking about.
Good thought process there. I mean, maybe him and the daughter were upstairs, and then it was an act of rage.
Maybe he was in that attic.
I mean, I don't know. Like, this is where I feel bad because, like, somebody's dead, and I'm like, I don't want to make accusations or anything, but
I'm gonna say that guy did it. He's a fucking racist.
yeah.
And
I mean, but
he
it
deserved
has
bury
all
him.
the makings for the father to have done it, I feel like.
Yeah.
Right. And you know what? I'm gonna go to break on this. So let's get some breaking because that guy's a fucking killer. He deserves to go to jail. Alen Hadzic is a fucking loser. Cuomo should resign. Shout out to the She-Hulk.
This was more like a podcast for the, like all the rest of the podcasts with like crime stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Drunk Animals, the World Ear Pulling Championship, extra nipples. Do any of these things sound like things you see every day? I don't think so. Hi, I'm Chris Taliaferro, and I've got a podcast called Things You Don't See Every Day with Chris Taliaferro. We cover some fascinating and bizarre things. I'd love for you to join us. Check it out. Come to anchor.fm/Things You Don't See podcast and give us a listen.
All right, we are back like we never left. This is part of my sarcasm. I'm Fuze B.
Ashley D.
Tyler in.
There it is.
Nice.
All right, and we are back with segment 3. We just, came from that nice, beautiful break. Ashley, go ahead and take the wheels.
All right, I'm going to take it. So that last segment, we were going to come back and I was going to ask you a question, but we got really pretty deep and heavy into some, personalities, different personalities. But listen, I was, I don't know how much you follow the podcast or anything, but I'm just past 3 months. We've hit 3 months on my relationship, which happens to be coinciding with how many weeks.
Please meet Ashley.
Yes. With how many weeks, so, we've done it's been 14 weeks. Yes, 14 weeks. That does deserve a round of applause because that's a long time. And if you can get past the 3rd month, you really are doing something special. So, and the reason why I bring that up, not to mention just wanting to talk about myself and give myself that, congratulations.
Narcissist.
I know. But,
It's all about Ashley.
It is. But, you said, you have,
meet Ashley.
your wife has, you don't have someone who's like a yes man for you. Neither one of you are like enabling each other or whatever. That's the really key to that 3 months because I'm so high energy. He's very high energy. We both own two, businesses. I'm setting goals like crazy, especially since I started the podcast. I've really set a whole new, string of goals this year, right? Actualizing that vision. And the reason why we have been so strong in the 3 months is because we both challenge each other. I definitely do not enable him. If you don't believe me, you can ask him. He's actually quite the opposite. He's never, he's 48, and he's told me, he says, all my last girlfriends, whatever, they were extreme enablers, and he enabled them. And we had that conversation. I said, how the hell did you end up with me? He's like, I have no idea because it's never happened. Having
because
somebody.
Fuze gave them
did.
their numbers and introduced them.
Yeah,
That's how that happened.
Yeah, he
The matchmaker.
Did. Yeah.
Yeah, it totally was for that.
So we challenge each other, because like I said, that conversation, we set goals together. We set goals together, huge goals, and we're talking about monetary goals. We have travel goals, and this is why I want to take it into. I'm going to ask you a question. So we have the monetary. What I say? We have mental health goals.
Yep.
Just talking about some past relationships and this, that, and the other, and just personal things throughout our lives. But there's one goal that we have not hit upon. Okay, that, like I said, everything we've done has been like a partnership.
Yep.
But we have a problem with health goal. Okay, huge problem. It's come up in the last week. We talked about it when we were setting our. We actually meet in my office. This is how strong we are. On the 1st of every month to set our goals for the month. And this is only
That's
our
strong.
3rd month, right? And one of the things only thing I did with our health goal is I said, we've got to be more healthy, and especially you.
Well, don't attack him.
I mean, he's not, remember, challenging each other. But he agreed, and he knew why I said it specifically.
For sure.
So my question to you, and I want the last segment to be really about answering this question for me, for all of us, all the listeners, is that extremely busy. I overthink everything. He underthinks the whole health thing. I wouldn't say just because he's a man, but he's like, yeah, whatever. I don't need to do that. I don't need to do this. And I'm sitting here going, no, you need probiotics. Oh, you need this. Oh, you need to do this. Oh, we need a salad. Oh, we need,
Yep.
But I'm extremely busy. He's extremely busy. We have different kind of schedules. How the hell? Going, you're nodding your head like I get what she's getting ready to say. How to put it all together and live healthy and still do all the things I'm trying to do, and with no time.
So what's funny about this is, as y'all being both type A, very driven people, I'm very shocked that y'all cannot get it together to be driven enough to be prepared. I think it's lack of preparedness, to be honest. And when I say that, think about your business, think about your goals.
Preparation.
Y'all sit down every month and you write down these goals and you write down these visions that you want to actualize, but you don't actualize the vision of being healthier. You sit there and you blame being so busy on everything else that you don't even take time to prepare for your day before your day begins.
Hey, my man, Carver, Dream's husband, we talked about that. He once told me, imagine you have all this time in the world to do everything you want, and you can't take 30 minutes out of your day to be healthy.
Because if you're not healthy, and this takes me back to actually something that I know y'all don't know about me, but people that know me know, my dad passed away when I was 10 years old, right? And my dad early on was not the healthiest person. He didn't know a lot of stuff. And 7 days before I was born, he had quadruple bypass surgery. And so from that point on, he was his healthiest self as I knew him for the 10 years that I had him in my life. And so I always was raised with the healthy mentality, so to speak, from my dad. I learned that as a child. But my dad wasn't always healthy. And so I lost him at a very young age. He was 42. And he owned his own business, and he was always our coach, and he was always doing things for other people, and especially my mom. And so he was putting everybody else first and everything first. So when I look at it for you guys, y'all are putting everything else first but your health. And really and truly, when I work with clients and they tell me they're too busy to focus on their health, I always ask them, I go, so when you cook dinner and say you cook a healthy dinner, can you not make extra for the next day? Like, everybody's like, I don't want to meal prep. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. You don't have to meal prep. Like, you don't have to sit there and make all your meals in one day. I do something similar to that, but you don't have to if it doesn't work for you. But you can easily cook extra for the next day to be prepared with a healthy lunch. How much extra time does it take if you're already cooking dinner to make that extra bit?
True.
It takes no extra time. You're already cooking. You're already there. So just make extra of a healthy dinner and have it prepared for lunch tomorrow. Oh, well, I don't like leftovers. Well, get the fuck over it. Like, I mean,
oh, wow.
I'm sorry, but
Okay,
that came out harsh, but
simmer down.
But it's one of those things that you kind of have to nut up, so to speak, and you have to own your actions. Right. And right now, neither one of you are owning your actions with your health.
Own your actions,
or nutting up.
And by nutting up and just making the extra food, being prepared. I mean, the best tips that I can give people that are super busy is to find meals that are, one, high in protein, and two, like going to be meals that you enjoy eating on the go. Because if y'all are go, you obviously need something to snack on, right?
Right.
Do you like beef jerky?
I like everything.
Okay, well, if you like beef jerky, you can go get a pack. You can go get a pack of beef jerky, and if you eat the whole pack, it's 33 grams of protein and only 6 grams of fat.
Right.
Okay, so
how many calories?
So, I think if you're putting me on the spot for total calories, I want to say it's going to be somewhere around the 200 marker. I'm pretty good with a lot of numbers when it comes to foods. So I'm about to drop a lot of knowledge for you guys real quick.
Boom.
Knowledge bomb.
So do you like Greek yogurt?
I'm not a huge fan of yogurt, but I can eat Greek
yogurt
only.
is disgusting.
Okay, so go get some Greek yogurt. My favorite, I believe, is the Two Kings. That's the kick I'm on right now. 13 grams of protein in there, about 5 grams of carbs and 2 grams of fat. Here's where I'm going with that. You're gonna then go add 1 scoop of a protein mix, and then you're going to add fresh fruit and a tablespoon of honey to that, and take it with you on the go in your car in a cooler. Like, it's not that hard. It's just being prepared and doing the little extra things that will set you up for success. You set yourself up for success monetarily, but you don't set yourself up for success health-wise. So what good is all that money
Please don't
if you're
mind
not
actually
healthy?
rolling around in a chair in the background.
Sorry.
But what's going to happen if you make all this money and you're super rich and successful and
And dead?
Yeah.
Oh,
Like you can't take your money to the grave.
I
Right?
didn't want you to sugarcoat it.
Wealth is health.
I'm going in on this one.
Wealth is health.
Yeah.
But I mean, you can't work. It's like our story earlier when I was talking about one of my clients, right? Like once he owned his actions and changed the things in his life that he needed to, his business took off and prospered. And we talked earlier and you said, yeah, my business has started taking off. We started the podcast and all this stuff. Imagine how much more you could get done
I
if
want
you actually,
more.
Right. You want more and you want to feel your best and you want to look your best too at the same time, right?
Yes.
Okay, so if that is also a priority and that is also a goal, then why are you not being prepared like you would if you were to show up for a house that you needed to sell?
Oh.
You're not going to show up at that house not knowing every dimension of that house, are you?
Can you sugarcoat some of this?
Yeah, I'll try harder.
No sugarcoating here.
So I mean, if you're selling $1 million home, you're not going to show up not knowing everything about that house that your client
I'm gonna know my game.
You're going to know your shit, right?
A game.
Okay, so why don't you know your shit about your health?
Oh.
Ow.
These are the Rick Ross grunts.
I mean,
Hey, you asked the question.
Yeah, I don't perform
people
on
want
my
a Band-Aid,
yeah.
and there's no fucking Band-Aid. It's called do the work. And I usually try to be nicer. Like, I'm very nice to my clients and stuff, but at the same time,
you're not his client.
when you need a kick in the ass, I'm also going to give you the kick in the ass.
Kick in the dick.
Yeah, when I'm kicking the dick, you're going to give me a kick
in the dick, yeah.
He did tell me to nut up, and then he kicks me in the dick.
Yeah, my analogies are on point today.
All relative.
That's funny because in real estate, if you were to come to me for real estate, right, I'm not really nice about like when I'm negotiating and
You're assertive, probably.
very, very assertive. I'm a nice person, so I can get away with being very aggressive and assertive when I need to. And I'm like, listen, you need to, do this, this, and this, and this, and that. But I can do that because I'm a nice person, and you're a nice person. So if you can tell me, you can tell me all day long that hey, obviously your priorities are fucked up.
I mean, I tell people all the time, you don't have to put yourself through what I put myself through. Like I work out 5 days a week and I actually have my own coach because this is another thing. I noticed that this year with the growth of my business and everything else going on, that I found myself in a lull. And so I went out and I hired a coach and I said, listen, I want to look my best, but I can't do that if I'm programming for 40 other people and I'm handling everybody else's nutrition and I'm putting everybody else first. So in my head, this is my thought process is where can I relieve more stress? What is causing me more stress right now? And that is my own health and having to then coach myself. And so this
pay
is
somebody to do what you do for others.
Exactly. And so I went out and I said, I need to pay somebody else because here's the thing. I'm great at if you hand me something and say, go do this, I'll go do it. Like in a heartbeat. Like if you're just like, hey, Tyler, I need you to go do this, I'm going to go do it. So when my coach is like, hey, I need you to do this, I'm like, Roger that. I'm on it. Let's go. And so when he's like, hey, here's your workouts, here's your macros, this is what I need you to do. And when I fuck up, he's like, hey, like you're doing great, but you're fucking up here. So let's fix it.
You're probably one of his better clients too.
Yeah.
You recognize when you fuck up.
Yeah, I mean,
giving excuses like a lot of people.
I mean, I'm going on a bachelor party tomorrow in Austin, Texas, and I told him, I said, hey, I know we're doing a cut right now, but I'd be able...
Austin, Texas.
Yes, sir, ATX. I would not sit there though and lie to him and be like, hey, I'm going to go sober for these 3 days while we're doing a cut. Like, I'll be honest, like I'll limit. Like, I have no problem being the sober guy. I did 75 hard. I went 75 days with no alcohol. Trust me, it does not bother me not to drink.
Nice.
So, but I want to have fun with my friend. Like, this is his bachelor party. It's about him.
But you only get the first one time.
But guess what? I'm prepared already. I have meals prepped to eat on the plane.
Okay.
I have my food that's going to go with me that I know I can snack on. That's going to hit my macros. And I've already looked at 3 gyms that are close by that I can go to for the weekend. So I'm going to wake up before everybody else does. They'll never even know I was gone.
Right.
And still get my workouts in.
Prepared. So you're saying
I'm fucking prepared.
Preparedness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing that my coach told me. He said, yeah, have fun. Obviously, you want to try to limit alcohol because, guys, fun nerd fact here for all of you that want to know something about alcohol in the body and the effects that alcohol has on the body.
I don't.
Are you going to say, can I guess before you say it?
Sure.
Are you going to tell me that my body's not going to be able to process breaking down fat when I have alcohol in it because alcohol is a poison and your body has to focus on getting that alcohol out?
Pretty much. And
you want to know where I learned that?
You?
E2M?
In the E2M group.
Yeah, exactly. And here's the reason why, guys. Your
As
body,
I had a beer in my hand.
when you look at it this way, we call alcohol the fourth macronutrient in my industry, and the reason we call it that is because everybody's consuming it. Like, let's be real. And so
One of the biggest drugs in America.
It really is. I mean, God, we can go down that rabbit hole another time.
That's another podcast.
That's another podcast in and of itself.
I mean, it's labeled as a drug, is what I mean.
Yeah,
alcohol is a drug.
And so
coffee is a food, in case you're wondering. But go ahead.
And so when your body sees, your macronutrients of carbs and protein, that's 4 calories per gram. When we take in fats, that's going to be 1 gram is going to be 9 calories. When we take in alcohol, that's going to be 7 calories. So when you take in 1 ounce of alcohol, think of it as 7 calories instead of 4 and 9. Mm-hmm. Our body recognizes 4 and 9. It doesn't recognize 7. So when 7 goes into the body, it says, fuck you, 7, get the fuck out. And so everything else in the body is going to be put on the back burner. So what you take in while you sit there and drink is going to be put on the back burner and not metabolized the way that alcohol is. Alcohol is going to be metabolized first, followed by everything else that you're eating. That's why you see so many guys with beer bellies and man tits. Like,
well, I ain't got no man tits, but this beer belly, boy, I tell you.
But I mean, at the same time,
I got my abs though. They're just hitting under the beer belly. Like, literally, you ever do that? Well, I mean, you're more fit than I am, but like when I lay down, I can still count my 6-pack. Like it's there. The core is not gone. It's there. Like, I used to wrestle, so the core is there. And then you said that your dad had triple bypass surgery. Mm-hmm. I actually had a heart transplant. Oh wow. So, yeah, but before that, I stopped drinking. It was almost 2 years I stopped drinking. So I did the cold 2 years, but it was health reasons. Like it was let's call it death reasons because I was either gonna die or stop drinking. So I stopped drinking.
I mean, at that point though, you knew that you had to change something, right? Because it was life or death.
Well, yeah, it was. Well, I didn't know. They told me, and I believed them.
Yeah,
But and then I dropped a lot of weight when I was dying. I dropped a lot of weight, and boy. First, I dropped like the health, like, am I wrestling shape?
Yep.
And then it just kept going. I was like, people thought I was on drugs, and I'm like, no, you idiots, I'm sick. But like, I don't do drugs. Like besides alcohol, I don't do that. So it was weird because people were like, dude, did you start doing drugs out of nowhere? And I'm like, y'all know me way better than know that I don't fucking do drugs. Like I've always been the high off life guy. Yeah. Also let's do shots guy, but that's a whole technique. But no, I get in.
I'm a bourbon guy.
Nice. I love bourbon whiskey.
Yep.
Old school.
So I've taken my notes.
So, swing it back.
Yeah,
preparedness.
We're gonna give it a couple more
minutes. At the end of the day, let me ask you this: like when you go home at night, like do you feel prepared for your day the next day? Like when you go before you go to sleep, are you prepared for your day?
Only my things to do list.
Okay, so
I rewrite my things to do list every night.
We go to lunch. She has a list with her. Okay, like she'll have a list everywhere, and she'll be sitting there crossing things off.
So how come on your list it doesn't have your meals ready for it?
Hold on, let me look.
Where's your health and nutrition on that list?
I gotta go to the grocery store.
No, okay. You know what? I'll take a blame for this because I did in that ECM group. There's a person who has not a gym, like a kitchen in Charleston, right? And they sell prep meals. Yeah. And I told her about that, and I told her, and it actually fits within the program that they're setting. I told her about it, and I should have pushed her more to order some so that she can have them here. Yeah. So I'm not taking excuses for her non-preparedness.
But that is a good way to be prepared.
Because I'm not a meal prepper, but the last time I was into this health kick, it used to be a kitchen over by where Kickin' Chicken is now. Yep. I'm sorry, DD Peckers. Over there by DD Peckers.
Yeah, Clean Eats.
Clean Eats. I used to go to them back a day and order food from them.
Wendy's over there near my gym in Mount Pleasant now. Shout out.
Oh, shout out to them. I didn't even know they were still around. Yeah. I thought they moved to North Charleston at one point, but
they have one in North Charleston as well.
Okay. Nice, but it's a little too far for me now. Like
my roommate used to date the franchisee.
Oh,
old roommate.
Is it JJ? Wasn't JJ your roommate?
JJ was my roommate back in college.
Oh, shout out JJ.
Yes, sir.
You know JJ.
I do know JJ.
It's our guy.
Yeah, I like him.
He brought us beer. You brought us health tips. So,
I was in my car and I had some shirts and I took all my shirts out yesterday and I was like, damn, oh my God. I was like, I should have left the shirts in and brought them to you guys.
Shirts. You know who else didn't give us shirts?
Exactly.
Jared. Ashley's about to call you out for no shirts.
Exactly.
It's cool.
He used the same excuse. Oh wait, he overslept. whatever.
Oh no,
he's an avid listener. He's gonna
listen. I'm one of those people that usually I don't clean out my car, and then yesterday I just happened to be like, okay, like I need to like take some stuff out and make room.
I'm gonna start calling these people ahead of time and be like, hey,
bring us something.
You're gonna be a guest. You bring us something.
All right.
But yeah, I mean, wrapping it back to you, Ashley, over here. I see your long list on your notepad.
Mm-hmm.
It's right beside you.
I didn't even have, bro.
What time are you going to the grocery store today?
It hasn't made
it's on the back burner, isn't it?
It is.
Okay. Why isn't it on the front burner?
Because I have an appointment, and then I have an appointment after that. Then I
Electrician.
So you got
Our
excuses.
new spot. 3 o'clock.
You got excuses.
Yeah, I do.
Here's the thing: the store stays open until 9 o'clock.
Yes. Can I go? Yes.
Yeah.
Have I made it a
absolutely.
priority as far as the other things? No.
So here's my other thing. Okay. I ran over because I ended up having to work. You know, client calls me. I didn't get in my lift. Sorry, let me rephrase this. Client called me. Something came up. Needed to be on the phone a little bit longer. I went to work out, and my thought process at the beginning of my day, if you look at my calendar, was to go to the gym, go home, shower, eat my lunch, and then come here.
Right.
Time got away from me because, you know, when a client calls and they need your help, you answer and you talk to them. So I had to come straight from the gym
You
to
didn't take
here.
a shower, did you?
I didn't bring clothes. I wasn't prepared, right? So
He
so
cleaned
here's
out
the,
his car. He didn't bring the clothes.
so here's the thing, and I also didn't bring my lunch that I had already prepared. So what do, right? Well, I'm always prepared and know what places I should go eat in Charleston that are healthy, where I can make my food the way that I want it to.
What's your favorite place right now?
Kairos all day.
Kairos down on
That's where
right
we
there.
went.
17.
That's where I went to have lunch. And guess what? I asked them, and,
We had a working
and this
meeting
is how OCD I am whenever I'm in a cut. I asked them, what are your portion sizes? So that I can log it and I know what it is, because I want to be prepared. I'm paying somebody a lot of money to be my coach, not to show up and be present for that coach.
Right.
If you're paying for something,
Sounds like
You-
ETM.
you should. I mean, really and truly, like as coaches, we want success for you more than you probably want it. I guarantee you that.
Amen.
We care more about your success.
I saw a dude, and this is a true story. There was a lady who she posted on her Facebook like her food.
Yep.
And I guess it was a steak or something. I love steak.
Me too.
And her coach fired her ass up. Like she fired him, but he was like cursing her out. Like he literally took a screenshot and was like, "This is why I can't take certain clients seriously. You have me doing all this work, and you turn around and you eat what you want, and then you're not truthful to me."
So we don't do meal plans.
Right. And I think it was a little extreme, especially, I'm paying you. That's where you got to remember that you work for me, right? If I'm paying you, and I was on her side where she fired him, but I was on his side and like, you shouldn't be lying to your fucking coach about what you're doing. But it's more professional ways to do it than take a screenshot and put it on your Facebook. Like, this is why I can't take clients. I was like, he probably lost more business. He might have gained some because some people like the hardness. Yeah. But it's like some people like the hardness.
Here's my thing.
But
this is why I don't like doing meal plans, because if he was doing meal plans for her and then she was going off track on it, then that's on her. But if he was teaching her and educating her on how to just eat what she enjoys and make it work inside of her lifestyle and her diet, she's going to have a lot more success. I would never tell a client that wanted to have a steak. Like, I would never call her out. You know why? Because I love steak and I think that you should have steak. It has a lot of protein in it.
I love steak.
Does it have a lot of fat attached to it too? Yes, but I can always
eat the lean steaks with
right.
insulin.
But I can also educate
shouldn't say
her.
that.
I can also educate her on how to take off some of the fat off of the steak. So therefore, we're not going over on fats if we're counting macros, right? Here's the thing: we all try to find these quick fixes that are done for us, and we all think that if we just have a meal plan to keep us in line, that we are going to stick to that 24/7, and you're not. Right. So this is where education comes in, and this is where educating a client on like, hey, here's your substitutes. Here's what you can throw in instead of that. And when you start to sit there and show somebody, like I was trying to tell you about the Greek yogurt or try to tell you about beef jerky, like little tips and tricks like that, that's where it really comes in handy, because now I'm educating you on how to look at that and how to fit it into your diet, so that way you understand what you need to be doing. Not, hey, stick to these rules.
Not just going through the motions, you're actually putting value behind it.
The reason why so many diets like intermittent fasting and keto and paleo, all of those things work, is because it is structured and it tells you exactly what to do, and we just want to be a bunch of sheep and follow it. None of us want to be wolves and actually educate ourselves and learn how to do what we call nutrition and dieting correctly. We just want to be told what to do, and that's it. So you really have to learn how to educate yourself first on what works and what doesn't. Anything can work if you want it to. The main thing is you got to be in a calorie deficit if you want to lose weight. If you just want to maintain where you're at, eat at maintenance calories. And if you want to build muscle, you better eat in a surplus.
What about getting rid of beer bellies?
Say that again.
What about getting rid of beer bellies?
Stop drinking beer.
Stop drinking beer.
I guess that's the logical sense.
I mean, either that or start limiting. I mean, it depends. Like, are you drinking 3 or 4 days a week, or are you drinking 1 day a week?
Oh, that was being hypothetical.
Okay.
I don't want to talk.
Hypothetical?
He didn't answer that one.
Okay. I see how you skipped around that one. Hey, this isn't about me. This is about you. So, let's get that question.
I mean, you just missed out on the beer belly when you were talking about everything else. I have a lot of people with beer bellies that listen to the show.
Fuze, don't make me come after you next.
Hey, this is about Ashley. Ashley's on the time. Yeah, we need to get out of here. It's a perfect time to say that. We are going to get out of here.
I'm going to the grocery store right now.
I'll see you there.
You that coach that show up and like, why are you buying that?
By the way, gardening is actually one of the most stress relieving things ever. If you don't have a garden, you should get one.
Nice.
You got a green thumb? All right, so my man, tell them where they can contact you if they want to be a client of yours.
Sure. I'll just go ahead and give you my phone number, 803-319-1444. I have no problem giving that out. Text me, tell me you heard me on the show, or if that's too direct for you, you can follow me on Facebook. My name is Tyler Newton on Facebook. You'll see a guy with a beautiful beard just smiling away. You can also find me on Instagram if you're always on Instagram and not Facebook at New10. That's NEW10_fitness.
All right. He'll give you a 2% discount. To, tell them that we sent
I'll give you a free month.
Oh, a free month.
If you reference this podcast,
okay.
Pardon my sarcasm.
I'll give you 1 free month.
Okay.
Pardon my sarcasm. Let them know Ashley D and Fuze B sent you. We're gonna try to get Ashley in that free month.
Right? Because I need to nut
she's
up.
Caught family. She's failing us. She's not doing it.
Yep.
She's gonna nut up.
I gotta nut up.
Nut up.
I need a
Get
kick
kicked in the
kick
dick.
in my dick.
That should be the name of the show. Kicked in the dick. All right. So Ashley D, you want to say anything else before we get out of here?
No, I really enjoyed everything that you said. I did
episode.
literally took so many notes, and I'm gonna have to transcribe them, and I'm gonna probably go home to the boyfriend. I'm gonna be like, listen, this is what we're doing. We're going to the grocery store, and blah blah blah. We're meal prepping and preparing. But I knowing me, I'm the more alpha in the A. I'm gonna already have done it, and he's gonna go in the refrigerator and be like, the hell is all this meal prep?
Ashley's about to be on Amazon buying all the
plastic,
plastic containers, meal prep.
I do already have them, by the way.
Love it.
But no, thanks for coming, and thanks to our listeners for listening. And
he'll be back.
That's it. Nice.
Love to.
Take it away.
Matter of fact, he's looking to get into podcasting. I don't know. When we get that studio running, maybe we'll do like a weekly session with Tyler. I'm just putting it
on
out
fitness.
There.
Hey, I'm always down.
On fitness.
That's what it would have been.
Health.
Fitness. He's not going to out podcast us, But all right. So I don't even feel good saying I'm going to happy hour.
I'm going to go work. I'm going to Planet Fitness.
I'm going to the grows. I'm going to the garden.
I'm about to add you guys on Find My Friends.
Track us down. All right, people. It is episode 14. It was a wonderful, beautiful episode. It was about health. It was about fuck Charlie Kirk. The value of my time. We'll get into that at a different time. With his, shout out to ETN. We didn't talk about that, but we had some conversations with him. Alen Hadzic is a loser. The Olympics failed on that. Cuomo should get the fuck out of office because he's a touchy guy. She-Hulk with the X, respected. And suicide and a racist addict. He's a fucking murderer. With that being said, we are out. I am not going to happy hour. I'll wait till after. I'll see you guys there. Let's get out of here. Protect your mental health. God bless and peace.